this week we have the start of our final eclipse season of the year. And eclipse energy is wildcard energy. It is a time of taking it slow, of really understanding that what will be happening from the 7th to 8th of September, so today, tomorrow, until the 21st to 22nd of September, is karmic. It is about the balancing of karmic energy, and there's a really big focus on soul connections, on unions, on alliances, um, and on the way in which we learn through our relationships. So, people coming into our lives, those relationships maturing, but equally people leaving our lives. And it's in each of these, it's not so much about the other person, it's about what you learn about yourself. What karma are you learning about? What are you releasing? Added to that, it's going to be Ancestors Fortnight for the entire period of eclipse season. We'll be starting today. It's called Pittru Paksha or Ancestors Fortnight, and it is the darkest fortnight of the year. The sun is heading south, the moon is waning post the lunar eclipse, and it's a period in which we honor our ancestors. We also honor the programming, the wisdom, but also maybe the programming that no longer serves us. We also honor those that have come before us that might need grace or karma for their rebirth to go on to a life where they have greater understanding than maybe they did in this life. Anyway, we'll talk about that more. And if you really like, you feel that calling already of like, I want to learn more about the eclipse season, I've put a little video linked below, and also the Unlock the Eclipse season ritual and reading is now live. It gives you access to both of the eclipse ritual and readings, personal written readings for both, the astrology for both, sacred practices for both, and a calendar, which helps you understand Ancestors Fortnight, helps you understand the astrological transits that are at play with the eclipse. So let's start today, Sunday the 7th. This is a day of truth, honesty, and authenticity. The moon is going to be in Aquarius in Shatabishak, Nakshatra, and it's sitting with Kali and Persephone, the two asteroids. It is a day of truth, a day of being honest, honest with yourself, honest with the people around you, and being open to hearing the truth from the universe that comes through those people. It's a type of day where honesty can lead to rebirth in your relationships and even bring about necessary reconciliation and healing. I say that because Shata Bishak is a place where healing takes place, healing that has taken time, things that maybe have taken time for reconciliation to occur, where maybe there's been a fracture in a relationship. This is a day, and particularly before or as we're heading into that solar eclipse energy, where there is the potential, if there is the karmic grace for it, to repair through truth. It's a very auspicious moon. As Shata Bishak, yes, it's sitting in Aquarius, but Shata Bishak is ruled by Rahu, or the North Node. And it's going to be sitting with the North Node later on today and tomorrow for the solar eclipse. So pay attention. We'll be getting hints from Saturday in Europe and America and Sunday in Australia of what will be coming. This is also a day that can bring forth the ignorance that you've been holding on to around relationships, the darkness you've maybe been projecting onto your friendships, onto your partner's business or intimate, that you haven't been owning within you. It's a time to see where your inner demons, like you might think that someone else is the problem or the one that's obstructing you, but really, this is a day to realize that that lives within you. That's why it's showing up in someone else, really taking responsibility for that. And you can also find that if you have been hiding your true nature in partnerships, not really showing yourself as the squeaky clean version of yourself, like not the real you, but like the version you think someone wants to love, this is a day to let that go, to really be you and have the bravery and the courage to know that you want to be loved for who you truly are, not for a version of who someone wants you to be or who you want you to be. Now, at the same time on Sunday today, the North Node is going to be in harmony with the Black Moon Lilith. That's just really drilling home again. This is about truth. Um, it's a time of following what is ethical, what is true, what is revolutionary, what is loving, not what is conventional and not what has been done before. You can find there's almost like this warrior mother energy coming through today where it's really like, screw the system. Or even like, screw the system of marriage and partnership. I'm going to do this my way. Use this day to really see the two parts of your personality, like the part that you accept and the part that you project onto others that maybe you're not fully loving or you have been taught not to love. You might think of that as like the light and the shadow. Um, it's really about rectifying those two, of being honest with yourself about who you are, of seeing your partner as your projection, and really being humble, honest with yourself, honest with your partners, um, and knowing you don't need to have it all together. Now, the full moon Tithi, the timing for the lunar eclipse will start today as well. It's going to start at 6:11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. It will be on Saturday at 10 p.m. in Europe, and it will also be on Saturday at 4 p.m. in Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which I think is New York, East Coast of the States. And this marks when we're moving into the energy of the lunar eclipse. So you'll be feeling it Saturday in Europe and the US, from Sunday in Australia and New Zealand. And just noticing it's often during this 25-hour lead up to the solar eclipse or to the lunar eclipse or to the full moon, that the energy is starting to move, particularly because the moon is now in the same sign as Rahu, which it will be sitting, or North Node, which it will be sitting next to for the eclipse. Now we hit Monday. Monday is wild card energy, as is Sunday evening. So we'll have the lunar eclipse in Aquarius in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. It will mark the start of Ancestors Fortnight. And this eclipse will be on the 7th for pretty much everywhere. So on Sunday for pretty much everywhere except for New Zealand and Australia. Um, But Monday is still going to hold that wild card energy of the eclipse. The moon's going to be with the North Node. There can be a lot of ignorance coming up in the collective and personally. The sun is with the South Node. It's almost calling for liberation, calling for you to see past what's going on. Like I said at the beginning, I'll put a little summary video that I did about the eclipses below. And if you really vibe off that, join me for the Unlock the Eclipse portal. We'll go into much more detail. That said, Monday is a day where we start the process of surrender, big time. Um, you can find that you're really dealing with the fallout from Sunday, or the energy that was coming through from Sunday, witnessing that karma, and just to letting things be wild card, like letting them be surprising and unexpected. And it's like chaotic music in the universe. And it's also the start of Ancestors Fortnight, like I said. So if you feel called to honor your ancestors, to offer them prayers, puja, mantra, whatever it is to help them in their next life, which is ultimately you, you can do that. Tuesday, the 9th of September, the moon is going to move into Uttara Bhadrapada. It'll be sitting in Pisces, and it will be sitting with Ceres, Saturn, and Neptune. You can find that on Tuesday, there is deep sensitivity that comes up within, a deep sense of intuition. You might find on Monday night, there are incredible dreams that happen on the back of the lunar eclipse, and as the moon moves into Pisces. You can find that this is a moon that brings rain. It can bring back some sense of stability and prosperity. It's actually a very auspicious place for the moon to be. And internally, that can feel like a washing away, a purification of something. And that might even involve crying, like kind of showering the self in that release. As well as externally, you might find that the weather actually mirrors that, and it does rain as a means to purify the environment. Now, Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces and it's sitting 4 houses away, which means that this can be a day where there's actually just a really strong call to work from home, to be at home, to rest, and to go a little bit easier on yourself. There can also be a really big focus on belonging, on security, on protection, on personal foundations. So just pay attention to that and really be conscious of how you're mothering yourself today. Uh, Uttara Bhadrapada, so the part of Pisces we're talking about, is actually ruled by Saturn, and it will be sitting with Saturn. The moon will be sitting with Saturn. So this can represent the start of a new chapter on the back of that eclipse energy. The eclipse energy can purge something, and then on the back of it, it's like, oh, I'm having to turn the page. I'm having to do something new, particularly in how you want to be, how you want to live, where you want to live, and how you're valuing your intuition. On Wednesday, we have a really big day of breakthroughs, beginnings, and endings. And that's because the moon is moving from Pisces to Aries. So it's going to be in Ravati for most of the day. And Ravati is the final nakshatra. It's deeply spiritual. It means for most of the day on Wednesday, um, time can feel really warped and really strange. And like things are condensed, and then other things are taking a long time. And it's almost like timelines are collapsing, which happens during eclipse season. Um, and it can feel like you're in this liminal zone until the moon moves into Ashwini, which is the first nakshatra in Aries. Now, because it's moving out of Pisces, or it's going through Pisces from water into fire, it can feel like there's an ending taking place for half of the day and a beginning that comes through in the evening. There can be a lot of inner tension that comes with this because the moon is Gandanta. It's stirring up a karmic knot. Things can feel a little bit heavy, like you've got to release something in order to move forward. It'll be towards the evening, particularly on Wednesday, if you're like, I don't know. I don't know which way to go. I don't know where to turn. By the evening, you should have some clarity once the moon moves into Aries. As the moon moves into Ashwini, which it will do in Australia at around 8:34 p.m., which means Monday morning in Europe, it will be in Ashwini. This represents the energy of dawn, of new things coming through, of the call to move forward, of reaching something quickly that you've been looking to do, of helping with your own healing. Be really careful on Wednesday with your health and well-being, particularly if you're already feeling run down, maybe a little bit ungrounded, as it can stir up some of that. And I would be saying, if that's the case, slow everything down. Just work out if you really need to do what you think you have to do today, or whether that's the mind just like chasing a dopamine hit. You can find that from Wednesday evening until Thursday, you actually start to see the blessings of what that lunar eclipse was about. I am super pumped for Wednesday because there's a couple of other things that are really cool that are happening. First, Jupiter will finally start to trine Saturn. Not perfectly, but it's getting within that 10-degree orb. Oh, like we have been dealing with so much of Jupiter squaring Saturn for most of this year, this kind of sense of like restriction and freedom and responsibility and liberation, but like, oh, this like inner scramble. And Jupiter will start its trine, which means its harmony with Saturn. They won't meet perfectly until the 1st of September next year, but we're just going to get a taste of what middle of next year is going to feel like between Wednesday and the 26th of January. Jupiter is going to be sitting with Parvati. So it's a time of devotion, it's a time of wisdom. It's almost like seeing the gift of the restriction that maybe you were experiencing earlier this year, and also the way in which the universe is trying to get you to create long term freedom for yourself, not a short term trip overseas, but actually like financial freedom, freedom of expression, freedom to break through the industrial military complex, maybe. On Wednesday as well, through to Thursday, we're going to have Ganesh Chaturthi. So it's not his birthday, but it's a time we celebrate him. So it's the fourth lunar day. And that means that if you came to the live where we celebrated Ganesh, you know his mantra, this is a day to do it. It will start at 8:07 p.m. on Wednesday, Eastern Australian Standard Time. So that will be the morning in Europe on Wednesday until 5:15 on the 11th. So it's kind of 23 hours in which, or 22 hours in which we can honor Ganesh, particularly if you get to Wednesday and the energy is not shifting for you. Invoke Ganesh, work with his mantra. On Thursday, the 11th of September, this is a day of going in. The moon is going to be in Ashwini, in Aries for most of the day, and then it will move into Bharani, also part of Aries, but very different energy to Ashwini. The beginning of the day on Thursday, it can feel like things are speeding up. They're moving quickly. It can feel like there's some lightness returning. There can be a sense of energization, of revitalization, of a sense of motivation to move and to do. And you can also find that this is a really internal energy that you can find that you're wanting to also use that motivation to spend time by yourself, to do something creative, to be in the company of children, even if you have children, to spend time with them, to do something playful, or even do something romantic with yourself that's not business oriented, that's not about sitting in front of an Excel spreadsheet or writing in a Word document, something that is truly connecting you to passion. Now, the sun is going to be conjunct, aligned with the south node on Thursday. And this makes that Ashwini energy of like quick, of revitalization, of motivation, even bigger. Um, and I would be saying be very careful with the speed at which you move on Thursday, as accidents are really likely when the sun is sitting with the south node. So again, like be careful of speeding when you're driving, moving really quickly when you're running or walking. Um, and you might even just want to invoke and ask for protection before you do those things with the moon and sun doing what they're doing today. Now, be really also, you can use this day when the sun is with the south node to listen to the wisdom of the body, to really hear that liberation is within, and to listen to what it has to tell you, even if it's not in words, even if it's through creativity or romance or doing something fun or artistic. Listen to what it has to tell you. Also, notice on Thursday where topics and like themes within you are coming around where maybe you feel like you're lacking confidence, or there's like that niggling self-doubt, or maybe you're being a little bit critical upon yourself. Just notice those things, because the sun can kind of be that way when it's sitting with the south node. Like I said, go slow, be really careful of your body and accidents today. But equally, if there is an accident and it might just be stubbing your toe, healing can happen really quickly at the same time. Now, Thursday evening, we have a very special part of Ancestors Fortnight happening, and it's called Bharani Shraddha. And that's because the moon is going to be moving into Bharani, which is part of Aries. Why it is so important is Bharani is ruled by Yama, the god of death. And so, because we're in Ancestors Fortnight or Pittru Paksha, this evening on Thursday is a time in which we can honor Yama. We can honor our ancestors that have passed, or people that have passed this year that maybe aren't your ancestors, that you feel called to help, that you feel called to honor, to remember. The moon, so Bharani Shraddha will run from 6:28 p.m. on Thursday until 4:28 a.m. on Friday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So you can translate that for you wherever you are. And it's one of what's the first of three really big dates during Ancestors Fortnight. So you might even notice that on Thursday night you have crazy dreams about ancestors that have passed, or even energy around your own mortality and the idea of death and what that represents to you. On Friday the 12th, the moon will still be in Bharani. It will be moving into Kritika, which is Taurus, which is going to feel really, really good. Late in the day in Australia, it will be around 10 p.m. in Australia, it will move into Taurus, which means in Europe, I think that's around like midday in Europe, um, mid to, yeah, maybe like 11, 12 in the middle of the day. Now, Bharani, like I said, it's ruled by Yama, Lord Yama, the god of death. And so what this can mean on Friday is that things get taken away. If you know someone that is in the process of passing, or close to passing, particularly an ancestor or a relative, this can be a day in which that happens, where there is the grace from the universe for that to happen. And it can also be a time, I would just be saying, like, if you don't do it the night before, do it on Friday, just to honor the realm of your ancestors, to honor those that have moved on to the next world. knowing that they're all you. There's only one soul. At a personal level, what this can look like is that things just get taken away from you that have reached expiry dates, and it can be something small, like the milk expiring. um, but it can be like more substantial. So something that needs to be removed from your life or let go of. And you might even find that that's just a thought, an idea, and particularly ideas and concepts around your mortality, around even like the fear of death, around what life means. You can find that those thoughts come up today. And as Venus, which rules this moon, is sitting 4 houses away, it can really be about understanding where you belong. If there is such a thing as life and death, what are you? Where does your energy actually live? Are there parts of you that are always dying? Are there parts of you that are always living? It's kind of understanding at a deeper level what that's about. You can find that that energy around what's reached expiry actually relates to something in your home, something to do with your sense of belonging, or something to do with your sense of security. Now, as the moon moves into Taurus, which, like I said, will happen at 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time and about 11 to 12 p.m. in Europe, um, it'll move into Taurus and the energy will ground. It will actually be quite nice. The moon's exalted in Taurus, so it's giving the mind a stable ground from which to work from. It will be in Kritika, which is the first nakshatra of Taurus. And so you can feel that energy shift dramatically on Friday. This becomes a mind which is very discriminating, which is very grounded, which is wanting to burn through ignorance and really purify what's going on. Can be really nice on the back of Bairani, bringing up those like questions of mortality. Um, and then the moon moves into Kritika, and it's almost like let's understand what's true. Now, again, there's going to be a lot of energy, even as the moon moves into Taurus, around belonging, around your home, around where you live, around how you mother yourself, around how you protect yourself, around where you find security. At the same time, on Friday, Mercury is going to be opposed North Node in harmony with Black Moon Lilith and align with the South Node. So, really listen to your body on Friday. Really listen to what it has to tell you while you're asking those questions about your mortality, while you're asking those questions around why you're even here. Let it show you, let the body show you the karma that you have. You can also use the body as a really beautiful messenger for you today in your relationships. On Friday, really listening to where it feels comfortable, knowing that there's something in that, where it feels uncomfortable, knowing that there's something for you to learn with that person. And finally, we finish on Saturday, 13th of September, today, all about friendship and romance. The moon is going to be in Kritika. So the first part will be in Taurus all day. So it's exalted in Taurus. And it will be building to its exaltation. So the mind is grounding, it's stabilizing after the week of eclipses. It will be in Kritika until 2:40 p.m. Eastern Australian Standard Time. And then it will move into Rohini, which means in Europe it will start the day in Rohini, it will start the day exalted. This is a day of really like cutting through ignorance, of dissecting what's been going on this week, of purifying and removing negativity from yourself, from your home, from your sense of belonging. Again, huge theme this week. You can find that if something needs to be transmuted today, it happens. Now, as the moon moves into Rohini, it's moving into its point of exaltation. And so you can find that Saturday afternoon in Australia, but Saturday as a whole in Europe and Saturday as a whole in the US, it's very creative. It's very romantic. It's very fertile. Just be careful of jealousy and desire on Saturday, as those little things, those little gnawing things can end up ruining the romance. So really just focus on what brings you joy. Um, and when you feel them coming up, just know they're only going to bring unhappiness. Getting to the bottom of what they're about is not going to satisfy. It's a time, Saturdays are really a time to be with your loved ones, to be with friends, to be with pets, to really enjoy life, and balance out the energy. Remember that life is full of love and joy. It is not scary. We're going to have whatever karma we have, but we also have the karma of enjoyment, of love, of friendship, of meeting ourselves in other people. And at the same time on Saturday, the sun is going to be conjunct Mercury, so it's a Kazemi, and the sun is going to enter Uttara Falguni until the 27th of September. And that's where it's going to be in Uttara Falguni with the moon when we have the solar eclipse on the 21st to 22nd of September. Now, that just means it kind of like adds to the energy of that beautiful Taurus moon. This is a day for conversations with friends, for insight into your friendship and even into yourself. It's a really great day to journal what's been going on so far this week. You can, because the sun and moon will also be sitting close to the south node, it can give you insight into past life links you've got to your friendships. You can find there's a way to enjoy the unions that you have, to find prosperity in them. It's a really great day to connect, to see how wealthy you are, not in terms of money, but in terms of the connections that you have, the people that you've met in this life. Now, Pandora, the asteroid, will also be sitting with Mercury, the sun, and the south node. And underneath all her patriarchal programming is a goddess, an earth goddess, about fertility and abundance. So it's really a time to enjoy life, to find time not to be so serious, to really find that the spiritual is in the material and vice versa. So I'm wishing you a wonderful week. I am away for the month of September. So if you want to book a one-on-one reading, I have October open for when I get back. And if you want to dive into the energy of the eclipse season, check out the Unlock the Eclipse Season. You'll still get readings with those even though I'm away. I'll still be working on those. And it's really there to support you during this incredibly karmic period.